All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another Sunday, another episode of the Always Chillin' podcast. Skinny D and the Sandman here in the barbershop once again. Good to see you. If you're new here, good to see you for the first time. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Like the video. Videos are on YouTube and Spotify. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. Before the episode, you were talking a little bit about getting chased by a helicopter.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? I feel like that's a good story. I kind of want to hear about it.
Yeah, we talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk
I
about
don't
that.
I don't want to cross any boundaries you're uncomfortable with.
Well, I kind of told you a little bit of the story.
Yeah, that's why I want to
Already.
hear the rest of it. I want to hear it from start to finish.
After running so motherfucking hard and running so far, I finally wake up, right? I passed out in that little shed thing where somebody's mowers and fucking...
Yeah, you got to start from the beginning.
Oh, you
dude.
want me to start from the beginning?
Okay. This is for the listeners now.
Well, we got into it with these dudes, man. We had beef with these cats, man. I won't say their names. They actually still out here and shit, but whatever. Finally caught up with these motherfuckers, man. And my homeboys, man, they knew I was the one that would not start it, but I'm going to get into it.
Yeah, you're down to ride.
I'm down, dog. I'm down, you know. And I'm driving, you know. Everybody in my motherfucking car. And I still kind of take offense to this, but my own homies, man, every time I get out of the car, they would pat search me and shit.
Why?
Make sure I ain't had no weapons, you know, like knives, chains. I didn't give a fuck,
Make
man.
sure you weren't going to escalate it.
I was going to fight with something, dog. I was only 150 pounds, man. There was no such thing as fighting fair in the streets. I used to say, only motherfuckers got rules is boxers. I ain't got no rules in these streets. I ain't got to let you up, motherfucker. What the fuck you talking about, right? So I still had my little poker. They missed it. So I got in with it and shit, right? I see these dudes, you know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't have any alcohol or drug-induced crimes. I was very well sober, you know what I mean? So I seen the cat, you know what I mean? I thought he was by himself, but I didn't catch the angle where all his homies was. And my homies was way across the other way, you know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it, I'm going in. Got the dude, poked him a couple times. Yeah, man. So I'm like, God damn, I turn around, I'm by myself, man, and all his homies come out. So I was like, fuck, first thing to do. Let's take off, right? Now, this is an outside gathering, mind you, and this is real huge. It's in the state fairgrounds. It wasn't the state fair, but it was in the state fairgrounds.
Okay.
So I'm running through these motherfuckers, man. I still got my poker and shit, right? I'm running so hard, so fast. I think I broke records, man. So I'm running through the horse stables and shit. And people were like, screaming and shit. So I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here. So then I run through with it was a beer garden. Dude was like, hey, we need your ID. So I was like, man, sit the fuck down, man. So I snatched him, put him down. So I'm like, fuck, I got to get the fuck out of here now. And there's about a 12-foot fence sitting right there. So I climbed the fence and I try to flip over the motherfucker, right?
Okay.
My belt loop catches on the fence. Again, I'm only 150 pounds, man. So I ain't even heavy enough to rip my own fucking shorts, man. So I'm hanging on this fence. These people running towards me wanting to see my ID. And I'm like, God damn it. So I put all my weight on myself, ripped my fucking shorts open. Ran across this big-ass field, and I see this cowboy sitting there on this Cushman, right? Because they had some shit where the horses and shit were there, too, right? So I was like, man, I need a ride, man. Some dude's trying to jump me. He's like, sure, I'll give you a ride. So I get in the Cushman with the dude, man, and we get to the edge of, what street is that? I think it's 13th Street. It used to be 13th Street back then. They kind of cut it off now. So I see 3 cop cars on the corner sitting there. So I'm like, God damn. If anything, I can run towards these motherfuckers, maybe shake them off, man, and get away. Well, the cars were empty. Okay. So I got off the Cushman, shook the cowboy's hand, and I walked on around the corner, man, and I see this little shed in the alley, and I'm like, fuck, I'm about to dip off real quick. You know, let this shit clear down. I pass out. Like I said, my adrenaline running so fucking high. I throw up a little bit more. I pass out. I woke up in the rain. I start walking a little bit, man, and I see this car creeping. I'm like, and I remember saying it to myself, watch this be the police. In the street lights, I could see all the badges in the car, right? And I tried to run again, man, and these motherfuckers put it in reverse and hit somebody's shit, man. So now I'm running, man. Now I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm on a part of the city that I don't know where the fuck I'm at, and it's just big ass fields and shit. So I hear this bam, and this light flashes on me, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was like, holy fucking shit. I never knew LPD even had this shit, bro. And that's when they caught me. I was like, God damn, man. It was like SEAL Team 6 in that motherfucker, man. I was like, what the fuck? First time I ever got caught.
So did you try boogieing, or did you just like
no, I couldn't.
The light was on you.
It was
on
me.
Like, okay.
It was a wrap.
Damn.
It was a wrap after that.
That's fucking crazy.
What was that about? 95, 94. And then I think that song had already been out.
Ghetto Bird?
Ghetto Bird.
Yeah, we were listening to Ghetto Bird.
Yeah, that song had already been
before
out.
the show.
So I was like, damn, I got caught by the Ghetto Bird.
Damn, that's crazy, man. Have I ever told you about the time I got pulled over?
What'd you do, man?
Well, you're gonna love it. Okay. I don't even really remember where we were going. We were going to Utah, I think, to hang out with one of my homies is from Utah, so we were going to like his hometown to hang out for the weekend. So we were driving from California to Utah in my little 2001 Mercury Cougar, and we're on the interstate in Utah, and I'm going like 95, and the speed limit's 55 because it's a construction zone.
Oh shit!
But it's like 2 a.m. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna like the story, or it's gonna make you mad you're gonna be mad at the world after this. So I'm going 95, and this car pulls up behind me and lights me up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a cop. This is the first time I've ever been pulled over. This is the first
time ever.
This is the first interaction I'm about to have with police at all, really.
Damn. Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
hear this.
I'm like 21 or something. 21 at this point. Yeah, this is like the first conversation.
You did good, dog. You did good. You did
good.
21.
Yeah, they just don't fuck with me when I go places. Yeah, so I'm going 95. It's a 55, so I'm 40 over, which is, I guess, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, just a little bit. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so he lights me up. He pulls me over. He's like, hey, do you know what the speed limit is? And I was like, I don't know, like 75, I think. And he was like, no, this is a construction zone. You didn't see the signs? And I was like, no. And he was like, all right, drive slower. And then he just gets in his car and drives away. And I'm like, okay. And then I just drive away, and we're cool.
Yeah, I'm mad at the motherfucker, man.
Yeah,
God damn.
yeah.
No, I don't want to see your license, nothing.
No, nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, nothing.
In Utah?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's cool. I'll hand him my military ID, and then he'll be like, oh, because they don't get too many Marines in Utah. In California, that doesn't work. In California, they give you they're like, I'm gonna give you 2 tickets. But in Utah, it might work. So I'm like, I'm gonna give him my military.
Damn.
Like I had my wallet ready and everything, and he didn't even ask. Like didn't even care. He didn't even, like me being in the Marine Corps didn't even help. He was just like, you're fine.
You had the Marine plates?
No,
not even yet.
I had Nebraska plates even. I had out of state plates going at 40 miles an hour over the speed limit. And he's just like, did you know what the speed limit was? And I was like, no.
I-80?
And then I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm not sure.
Damn.
But yeah, that's.
I'm trying to.
And then I got pulled over for having I was rolling dirty. My registration was expired by like 6 months. So I got pulled over downtown.
Thug life, baby. Yeah. Thug life.
So I got pulled over downtown, and he was just like, yeah, get it fixed.
Well, I can't be too mad. I did get let go twice in my whole life.
Okay.
First time, I was coming from Denver, had a load in the trunk, and I knew this chick from York. She was married, actually pregnant at the time. She was I won't say what she was doing, but she was very important to the medical field in the town of York. I'll put it like that.
What?
Yeah, she was top dog
Okay.
at what she did.
Okay.
But I was only supposed to stop in York, you know what I mean, and drop off a package, right? Well,
Sure.
I stopped at this gas station, and mind you, this is this cell phone era, but you really don't want to say a whole lot on the cell phone. So I stopped at the gas station, got me a Sprite, and I hit the payphone right there and let her know, yo, I'm in town. She's like, okay, I'm coming along the highway right now. You can just get behind me. Cool. Now, I'm not familiar with the town of York. I didn't know that when you pull out back onto the highway that you're supposed to yield in the middle or stop. It was either a yield sign or a stop sign and then pull back out. I didn't see it. I just pulled straight out, right? Headlights behind me.
Do that, yeah.
Bam. Oh, fuck, man. I'm like, God damn, I'm going to jail in York, man. I got shit in the trunk, man. So my quick thinking, man, I took my Sprite and I poured it down my lap, poured it down my chest and shit, right? So he gets to the car, and mind you, it's like 30 below zero this night, man. It's like 1,
that's
2
a good
in the
night
morning.
to be up to some
Right. So he comes to my passenger seat, my jacket and all that shit, my ID, everything's right there in my jacket, bro. And he comes to the passenger seat and was like, yo, what happened, man? I was like, man, I've been driving all night. I'm coming from Colorado, man. I'm meeting my girlfriend, man. I'm about to just go chill, man. I didn't see the sign, man. I actually spilled my soda all over, man. I was driving a stick. I was trying to drink my soda, and shift gears, man, and it just slipped up, and I just went on, man. He's like, okay, what's your name? So I gave him my name. I gave him my alias, and I guess I can give up my alias now because I'll never have to use it again, right?
Ace Diaro.
My alias was Mike Strong.
Mike Strong.
2 G's.
With 2 G's. Okay.
2 G's, right? There was a basketball player last name Strong.
That does add a kind of a layer to it.
2 G's, dog. It's going to be hard to find. So my birthday, I always used a month and a day and a year later than my real birthday. So I gave him that information, right? He goes back to the car, man, and whoever Mike Strong was at the time had never had a pair of handcuffs around his wrist ever. This dude had never broken the law. Yeah, man. So I'm like, oh, it's working. So he's like, yeah, I'm just run some paperwork, man. I'll give you a warning ticket. Just sit tight. And so I'm like, hey, man, I'm all wet, man. Do you mind if I get out and change my pants, man? And mind you, the chick that I was coming to meet, she's about 100 yards ahead of me. So it makes it look real official. This is my girl. She's married and pregnant by her husband. You know what I mean? They just selling weed and shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
So she waving and shit. I'm like, everything's cool. You know what I mean? So he actually lets me get out the fucking car. I go to the back. I grab a crusty pair of fucking sweatpants. I don't even know whose they are or how long they even been in my fucking trunk. I take my fucking pants off. And there's this backpack sitting right there in my trunk. I put the fucking pants on, threw my other pants in, got back in the car like shit was cool, right? And he comes back with these 2 tickets with the name Mike Strong on it. He said, man, be cool. Congratulations on your new baby. Go get some rest. And I drove the fuck off, man.
That's fucking
I was only
crazy.
supposed to drop that shit off to her and get back on the interstate and go home. But I ended up staying the night on their fucking couch, man.
Damn.
Yeah, and then even in that morning, man, driving through York, I'm like, man, but I made it. I fucking made it, dog.
That's fucking crazy. You can't get away with that shit no more, huh?
Got away with it, dog.
Yeah,
that's
the type of stuff that wouldn't work anymore.
Nah, it probably wouldn't work anymore.
They type Mike Strong in their laptop and it comes up with a picture and they're like, that ain't Mike Strong.
Well, the second time I got let go, man, this shit was very, very fucking bizarre. It's still bizarre to me to this day. Me and the girlfriend at the time was, took me and my kids to the swimming pool one day, and it was walking distance, right? So as we're walking back to the house, we see a bunch of undercover detectives and shit. I remember I made the joke like, who these motherfuckers with these McDonald's polos walking around the yard and shit, right? I thought I seen the McDonald's emblem on one of them, but it's fucking police shit, right? So I'm like, fuck, they see us. We can't, we gotta go home. We got the kids and shit, right? So I'm like, fuck, man. I don't know if I had any warrants at the time. I think I did. I couldn't remember if I had warrants, but the police walked up to us, right? Had this picture. It was like, have you seen this dude? And I know who the dude was, right? So I'm like, no, man. I said, what'd he do? He's wanted for murder in Kansas.
Shit.
I'm like, oh, shit. Now, like I said, I know the dude. I did time with him. But he's on the streets at the time, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Well, no, I don't know. I did have warrants at the time because I remember I called my kid's mom to hurry up and come get him so we could get the fuck out of the apartment. I did have warrants at the time. Okay. But anyway, later on that day, me and the girl, we were in the car, got rid of all the kids, trying to wind down now. So we stopped at a gas station to get some cigars, some chocolate Phillies, man. I used to love them motherfuckers, man. But I seen the detectives coming through the gas station parking lot. And I know the undercovers, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, shit, go to police and shit. They must be looking for old boy. So I get on in the car thinking, they stopped me earlier. They ain't going to fuck with me, right? So I think it's 28th Street. We go down 28th Street, but we lived on 29th Street at the time. So I'm like, just keep going down 28th, see what he does. 3 of the motherfuckers got behind us, man. So I'm like, God damn, man, I'm going to jail today. No, I wasn't on violation. I think I just had warrants. But anyway. Her mom at the time lived 2 blocks from where we lived. So I was like, just go to your mom. Just go to your mom. Just park in the driveway. We'll just chill. They fucking followed us, right? Undercovers get out of the car. They asked me my name, my information and shit. And I'm knowing the alias is going to work, right? So I'm cool. I'm just hoping they don't send a cop that knows me and is able to say that's fucking Damon, man. Quit lying, man. So that's more what I'm worried about. Alias is working, right?
Yeah.
Thank God her mom wasn't at home at the time because she's one of them loud ladies and she'll come out and say my name and shit. You know what I mean? So her mom wasn't home at the time, so we had that in our favor too. Well, after sitting there probably 45 minutes fucking with these police, shooting shit, trying not to, shake and shiver and shit, I see him coming up with a picture on a piece of paper, right? And I'm trying to look like, who is it? And she's getting closer and she's getting closer, and I can see through the paper now that it's old boy still. So I'm like, cool.
Why you gotta be all scary like that?
Man, shit.
What the fuck?
So she holds up the paper and it's like, nope, that's not him, man. They was like, all right, we sorry to bother you, and fucking left, dog, and let me go. It was the only 2 times that I ever remember getting away or being let go.
Damn.
I got away plenty of times. I'll say being let go.
Yeah, I just got pulled over for speeding the one time, and
oh man,
he was like, "See you later."
I was getting chased by the fucking police every weekend, dog.
Yeah, well, all I was doing was speeding, so I didn't have other shit to worry
He didn't
about.
even ask to see the ID.
Yeah, he didn't even ask my name.
Utah.
He didn't even ask what I was doing.
Was he an older dude, younger
No,
dude?
he was younger. He didn't even ask what I was doing, like where we were going or what we were doing, or the only thing he asked me was, "Do you know what the speed limit is?" I said, "Like 75, right?" He said, "No, it's 55. There's construction. You must not have seen the sign. Drive slow. Bye." Like, the only question he asked was, "Do you know the speed limit?" And I said, "No."
Damn.
Yeah.
2:00 in the morning in Utah on the interstate. What was traffic like? Heavy? Light?
None. Out of state plates.
I can't wrap my mind around it, man. Goddamn, that was a golden.
Well,
moment
here's the thing. Here's the missing information that you don't know. 2 white guys in the car. 2, not even just white, but like clean cut, like clean shaven, haircut to the skin.
Yeah, I might have let y'all go.
Baby faced, probably were like 20, 21.
I might have let y'all go. Cougar.
Yeah.
No tent.
Nope, no tent.
Yeah, I might let y'all go.
Probably listening to Smash Mouth. Hey now. You know? I don't know.
Well,
did you notice that the police were around less in bad weather? Because when I was in the Marine Corps, we'd be training and it'd be like raining or snowing, or it'd be like super shitty. We're in the desert, so the wind would be whipping sand everywhere, and we'd be like, "Man, this kind of sucks." And the people in charge would always be like, "Oh, you think fucking Taliban cares that it's raining?" And then we got to Afghanistan and we found out that they do. Like when it was raining or the weather's bad or whatever, like nothing happened.
Really?
Yeah, they don't want to be outside either, so they're not.
Oh shit.
So like if it's if it's negative 30 out,
are they
the
say
cops,
fuck it?
Like yeah. So like, do you think the cops are less likely to fuck with you?
No.
Like you don't think so?
No, I think they're in my experience.
Like they're like, I'm gonna stay in this. Like if they're parked on a speed trap, they're like, I'm just gonna stay in this fucking car.
In my experiences, most of the time they tucked off somewhere, especially in the hood, or on the outside or somewhere in the hood. Usually they would. There was Woods Park up there because 33rd and O was dark back there. So usually motherfuckers would kick it at the car wash, do their deals at the car wash, or whatever. Usually on those 4, Holdridge, 27th to 33rd, from 33rd to O Street, from O Street to 27th, and on down. They would, perimeter points.
Sure.
Kind of putting a perimeter around the whole hood. Then you would have undercovers, riding up and down the street. Yeah, man. In my experience, them motherfuckers never stopped. They was always riding around doing something. Most of the time, I remember undercovers in the wintertime.
Were you guys less active if it was raining or
I did some of my best hustling in the cold.
No
dog.
shit.
Some of my best. Like, I put my long johns on, tops, bottoms, put me a hoodie on. I got my jacket on. I got 2 pairs of socks.
Hustle never stops, man.
Because I might have to beat feet. I might have to hit the corner, and I didn't drop my car off on corners so many times, bro. I forgot where I left that motherfucker because I thought the police was behind me and shit. Yeah, man, that's just, that shit I do. That's why I didn't give a fuck about rims, and I didn't give a fuck. I might have to leave this motherfucker for 2-3 days on this corner because the police was behind me. Yeah, the motherfuckers was always on our asses, even in the wintertime. More undercovers than anything. Or sometimes they would just pack up in a van, bro, and we called them the jump out boys. They'd see your ass and just jump the fuck up out on you, man.
Damn.
I got ripped through a fucking window one time by them motherfuckers.
Okay, so if it's like snowing out and you're the only person on the street and the cops, so do you think it's more likely that they'll fuck with you if you're like the only person they've seen in a couple hours?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Damn. So
In the hood, yeah.
So
Definitely.
bad weather makes it
Yeah.
even more likely for you.
Yeah, it's more like what the fuck
probably.
you?
Yeah, like what are you out here for?
Hey, what you really doing? Yeah, that shake you down in the hood.
Damn. Well, I was wrong. I thought maybe the shit would calm down.
Nah, the motherfuckers be
yeah,
out
when there was bad storms and stuff, we would just plant somewhere and then nothing would happen. And
it's crazy, really. Man, I guess I never thought about that.
Yeah, I guess
bad weather and war.
Yeah, I guess they didn't like the rain either, man.
I guess so. Shit, we chilling today, motherfucker.
Shit
Roll up.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Catch the motherfuckers.
Like, there's like a wet season, like a monsoon season.
Really over there,
know?
really?
Yeah, where it was only a couple weeks, but it rained like a motherfucker for like 2 weeks straight.
So is it tropical over there? Or?
No, it was like desert.
Damn.
But, the desert gets like all of its rain at once. Just a big dump,
Yeah. It's coming down. Yeah, that's crazy. Now the police, man, it was always war between us. It was always war. More of a cat and mouse. It was really a cat and mouse thing, man. Sometimes that, especially when you wasn't dirty. When you wasn't dirty, and they roll up on you, bro. That was talk shit time all fucking day there, bro. Like,
is that like the best feeling?
That's
in the world,
best feeling in the world, man. Best feeling in the world. Like, motherfucker, what the fuck, man? Fuck you, dog. Fuck you, dog. Catch your daughter somewhere, motherfucker. I'm hitting that. The fuck.
Shit.
Yeah, that was time to talk shit to they motherfucking ass. When you know you clean, you know you ain't got nothing.
Before the episode, you said your son had a lot of questions.
Yeah,
that you were gonna address.
Yeah, man. It got real quick on me, man. My 15-year-old boy, my baby boy, big motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he is.
All my kids is bigger than me, man. I got a son that's fucking 6'9", fucking 330.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. So, I'm not short. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", but my son, my baby boy, is about 6'5".
I'm 5'10" and a half.
I swear every time I see this motherfucker, man, I'm like, damn. He about 6'5", 280 right now.
It's pretty good.
Solid fucking kid, right? So he's like, Dad, where I get my size from? He's like, you tall, but I'm like, I've never talked to you about this, have I? Now, some of my older kids may know, but I was like, damn, well, the guy that raised me wasn't my real father, right? He's like, no, I didn't know that. I was like, well, you wouldn't. I was like, well, my biological father, man, was 6'9".
That's pretty tall.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's like, really? I was like, yeah. Didn't raise me, had nothing to do with me, but these are the things that I do know about him. Started his career at Southern University, which is an HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
And his high school coach, Lonnie Porter, who's still a big name around here, got an assistant coaching job here at UNL. So my dad, wanting to be closer to home, transfers to the University of Nebraska. Never gets drafted, but ends up on the roster of the Omaha Kansas City Kings. A lot of people don't know Nebraska had an NBA basketball team in the mid-late 70s, the Omaha Kansas City Kings. They played half the season in Omaha, then the other half in Kansas City.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Then they ended up in Sacramento. Well, long story short, my mom separates from him, and, I grew up without him and shit. So this is the story I tell my son. I remember sitting down one day, and we all watched Sanford and Son as a family. Right, and I specifically remember this episode where a dude came in and told Fred that he was Lamont's real father.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I remember looking at the episode, I don't know how old I was exactly, but I'm like, damn, he even looks like Lamont. Not realizing this is TV, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was that young, like, damn, he even looks like Lamont, you know what I'm saying? So I remember turning around to my mom like, Mom, do I look like my real dad? And she gave me this look, and as I explained it to, like, it wasn't a look of anger or disgust or hate or anything. I think my mom was more anxious to let me know, and never, not once saying, "Oh, fuck that motherfucker. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. He wasn't there." And then never talking to me like that about my biological father. But what she did tell me was, you look just like him. You walk just like him. And he played a little basketball here and there. I was like, okay. So I got some things to go on. I got some things to emulate.
Sure.
And maybe try to put into my lifestyle. So later on, years later, the man who raised me, my dad, Ralph McWilliams, rest in peace, Pops, started to talk to me about my real father because they both played basketball, college basketball at the time. He had crossed paths with my real father.
He ended up with kind of like an Irish last name too, huh?
Yeah.
McWilliams.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah, Irish like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And one night, I specifically remember it was the year that the 99, 2000 Y2K thing, where people were actually, they thought it was over that night. So my family, everybody that was in town here, my uncle at the time had a huge house. We were all in one house, armed to the teeth. Everybody had a gun. Every male in the house had a weapon. Because, you know, that's what they made us think that,
crazy.
you know what I mean? I mean, the shit was real, man. It was real. There was a lot of people panicked that night, man.
All the calculators are going to stop working. And
it was
the
a real
world's
eerie
gonna
night.
explode.
If anybody remembers that night, man, put it in the comments. It was a serious, you know, we thought everybody was going to start robbing, raping, and
That's
pillaging.
crazy. So even, I mean, we'll get back on track in a second, but even before Facebook, like shit like that spread.
It worked.
Spread like
right.
crazy.
It worked.
Because that's like fake news.
It
like
worked.
This fake news thing, like spreading
worked.
misinformation. That's what that is. Like,
we'll just say it
like some guy at Walmart was like, computers don't know how to turn the date to
the
2000,
shelves was
so
empty.
It was all
going
gonna stop, and then everyone in the world just
It was the
heard
toilet
about
paper
it.
thing during
Yeah.
COVID, bro. It was
Fucking-
just like that. It was that same magnitude.
That's crazy.
Like instead of going and motherfuckers going and getting beer and wine and shit, motherfuckers was going and getting water, canned goods,
Yeah.
and ammo.
That's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
it was real, man.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, you guys are at your uncle's house.
yeah, we was at my uncle's house, and I remember my pop, man, he was real sporadic dude. You know what I mean? He'd be sitting there smoking that Cool 50 King. Come on outside real quick. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking like, what the fuck did I do, man? He waiting till the night to kill me because he can get away with the murder. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, don't want to be no little bitch. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go outside. And my uncle follows me. So I'm like, oh, they really about to fuck me up.
They're gonna
I'm
fucking
like,
jump
they
me.
about to fuck me up, man. My uncle following me and shit. So they get me outside, man. I remember my dad asking me, he was like, hey, man, how you feel about your real pops? And I felt like he might as well punch me in my chest. He might as well just, I was like, huh? What? What do you mean? He's like, how do you feel about your real pop? I was like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But because my mom didn't raise me with the hate and the anger, I didn't have it towards him.
Mm-hmm.
So my honest answer was, I don't know. What do you mean? My dad tells me, I know where your dad is right now. I've known where he was the whole time. Just wanted to wait for you was old enough to be able to make that decision. Damn. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, man. Real G ass shit to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's a real respectful.
Right. And you've been my dad all my life.
Respectable way to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, damn, that's some real G ass shit. But long story short, again, I ended up fucking up going to prison before we could ever make that. Before we could ever make that happen. And I'm kind of telling two stories here.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody follows me. I think I'm in prison on I was on a violation on my first number. My girlfriend at the time, I think we were arguing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were arguing. So I was like, fuck this bitch. I'm going to call moms tonight. So I call my mom. She answers. Hello? I'm like, what up, mom? And she's being real short with me on the phone. So I'm like, yo, what you watching, your stories or something? I'll let you go. I only got 15 minutes, lady. You wasting my minutes and shit. You know? I ain't say it like that, but you know what I mean? Basically, I was like, what's going on? You all right? She's like, we found your dad. I remember I was standing up and I slid down and there wasn't no chair. So I slid all the way down. Like, what? What do you mean you found my dad? Well, because my dad was in this fraternity. I won't say the name because I'm probably going to say it wrong anyway. He was in a fraternity and somehow knew some dudes that my other dad knew. You know what I mean? So my mom got the news that my dad was actually in prison in Florence, Colorado. So I'm like, what? All that shit trickled down like that. So I'm like, okay, what's the address? Just like that. What's the address? So she gave me the address, man. And I remember I had that long ass pad, man, because in prison your paper and your ink, man, it's like currency, you know what I mean? So I had the long yellow pad. I think it was like 12 inches by 6 or some shit
legal.
like that. Yeah, the legal
size,
pad.
Yeah.
I've always been able to write, man. I thought I was going to be a writer. Still might do that. So when I put it down, I'm putting it down. I think I wrote a 37-page letter times 2 because I wrote on both sides. You don't want to waste the paper. You ain't going to write on one side and not use the other side, right? So I think it was 37 pages. Not being hateful, not being angry. I think I asked him, like, what the fuck, dog? What the fuck? What the fuck happened? So he gave me his story, and I was like, all right, okay, whatever. I go through my shit with my baby mamas too. So I understand.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I can get this dude a chance to be my dad. We'll see what happens when we get out, okay? I think I got out first, then he got out. We're both on parole, so I'm on a violent crime. He was on a drug charge, so very rarely will they let you transfer or travel on interstates. You got to get an interstate transfer compact, which is a packet about that fucking thick. So if you happen to get pulled over, you show them that so they don't declare you a fugitive from justice from your state. Then when you get to where you're going, you have to go directly to the police station and let them know that you're in their town or their city. My name's Devon. This is my interstate transfer compact. I'm going to be in Denver for approximately 24 hours, and then I'll be heading back to Nebraska. So you got to report that, all that shit. So I was like, fuck that. I ain't doing all that. You know what I'm saying? So we was able to talk on the phone for over a year. Right? So again, long story short, some shit had happened in my life. I made some changes and shit, and I quit talking to him for a little while. I don't even remember the reason. Probably because he just was secondary on my mind at the time. You know what I mean? So I called my grandma one day, and I asked her, was my dad there? And she said, baby, your dad passed away. I was like, what? I just talked. She's like, passed away. He didn't tell nobody he was sick. So I'm like, God damn, man. So he actually died before I ever got to meet him face to face.
And you hadn't talked to him for a while?
I had been about 3-4 months I hadn't talked to him.
Shit,
I think
so
we had a little minor falling out or something.
Damn.
Yeah, he tried to tell me something, and I was like, what? Man, hold up. You ain't got that right yet. You know what I mean? So just take it easy a little bit. So I kind of put him off for a little bit, talked to my grandma, and she's like, baby, your dad died. So I'm like, well, fuck. I got to make the trip. Made the trip to his funeral, met all my family, man. That was the great thing about it, man. I did get to meet who I look like, you know what I mean, who I sound like, and all that other shit. It was a trip to see people that look just like me, you know what I'm saying? So back to my son. I give him all that, right? So he was like, where do I get my size from? I was like, you know, your dad, your grandpa, my biological father, was 6'9", played for the Globetrotters, played for the Harlem Clowns, played overseas. His career took him a lot of places. I'll put it to you like that. Now, me and my 15-year-old son, we probably about a year now, probably about a year and a half, we've been back into each other's lives. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I ain't going to rehash on that shit, but out of each other's lives. Because I won't say he was taught to hate me by his mother.
I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah, he was taught to hate me. And I guess that was my whole moral of the story to him, to where not to make him feel bad about the situation, but you asked, I'm going to give it to you real. Yeah. Yeah, so that got real deep with me. And it's probably not over.
What did he think about it? What do you have to say?
Well, that's what freaked me out.
Probably a lot.
Yeah, him being so intelligent, bro. I was like, damn, I even had to tell him, yo, I didn't resent my mom at all. I didn't resent my mom for it because I found out the shit my dad was involved in. Some shit that made me wonder, like, damn, where would I actually be? Where would my mom be had she?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the time in my life, I wasn't doing the shit my dad was doing, but I was a bad man. You know what I mean? And maybe she felt like, she maybe had to protect her baby.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the baby daddy can be a bad dude, and you don't have to You don't have to shit talk him to the kid, you know?
Right.
Like
And this is what I told my son. I was like, man, you got the best of me. Your brothers and sisters probably didn't.
yeah.
Did it make me a bad father? No. I've never been a bad father. I've never been a deadbeat father ever.
Mm-hmm.
But was I a bad person? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, maybe it does seem like an easy way to keep their kid from wanting to fall into a similar lifestyle.
Yeah, but never. I mean, to see and to have to explain that to him, who's 15, who's probably years away from his own family.
Yeah.
Yo, you really got to evaluate who you lay down with, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's a good conversation to have.
You really got to evaluate who you lay down with because there's this and it's.
Yeah, you might have to deal with it.
You're gonna have
forever.
to do forever, and it seems like a trend now, or no, not now. It has been that so many women are willing to do this for their own selfish reasons. Maybe the man moved along, or maybe he just broke up with you. The least he did was break your heart, and you're willing to do that. You're willing to destroy a relationship between a man and his child, son or daughter, for your own selfish reasons.
Yeah, that's where it gets.
And then not prepare the child for the meetup one day. And that's what my mom and my dad did for me. They prepared me for it because
worked
they
out
knew
pretty well.
Yeah, I was a basketball player back then. You know what I mean? And I was pretty good. So he's gonna cross his path one day. I had been to tournaments in Denver, Colorado, hundreds of times, and not knowing, every 6'8" black dude I'm looking at like, you know what I mean? Real shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I walked by him in one of those tournaments and just never knew. So my parents always prepared that. I got 8 kids total, man, and 6 of them hate me.
Damn.
Yeah, because I got out of prison, and even some family members, man, like they probably didn't believe, and I know this is what it didn't believe the change, didn't want to believe the positivity, didn't want to. And
I wonder how much of it is not wanting to have a conversation with, like a hard conversation with your kids.
That's what it is.
Like it's a lot easier to be like when the kid's like, "Hey, where's my daddy?" It's a lot easier to be like, "Oh, he's a piece of shit and he's in jail.
Shit. He didn't buy you the new Jordan, so he's a piece of shit.
Don't worry about it." So I think that's a lot easier to do than to have an actual conversation about it.
It is,
which is kind of fucked up.
It is. I said my mom every time I asked about something about him, she even they used to call him Dog Eyes, his nickname, and he was a good dancer. He would always control the party, and so I'm like, damn, he was real intelligent, always reading, and I'm like, damn, that's me.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wonder that about me. Like, I wonder how honest I'd be willing to be with my kid. Like, your kid asks you a hard question. I wonder how honest do I want to be, and how early do I want to do it? Like when my 5-year-old is like, "What's sex?" Am I gonna tell him? Like, should I just lay it down? Or like, what's dying? That's the one I'm really worried about.
Ooh,
yeah, like
that one.
Yeah,
That's
the one I'm really. Because even like Disney movies, it's like, oh, Bambi's mom dies, and the kid's gonna be like, "What's die?"
Yeah, that one more than where kids come from. That one,
yeah,
that one you got.
Tough one.
Oh shit, yeah, man. And
I don't know.
He had a million and one questions, and like I said, I don't think it's over. And
yeah, probably even harder when your kid can like make whole sentences and they're smart and they're like really.
What's
this?
this?
When they're 5, you can be like, "Oh, that's your dog went to the Rainbow Bridge."
Well, I think I flipped him out more when I told him. I think he was more like, "What, really?" That I told him, the man that raised me ain't my real father. He was like, because that's his grandpa. That's who he knew.
Yeah.
He was like, "What, really?" So I was like, "Damn, should I have told him that?" But along the story, story, he was gonna have to find out anyway because he kept asking.
Well, and I mean, and he was old enough to ask the question.
Old enough to ask the question. So I figured he can handle it.
Yeah, he can handle the answer.
Here it is.
Yeah,
here you go.
If you want to know, and that's like the same question that you had when you were a kid too. So
that's where I was like, oh,
yeah. I mean, the least you can do is. Was that weird for you?
It was
to see was that like seeing a lot of yourself?
It was because he looked just like me anyway, and I'm like, dang, bro,
having the exact same questions, man.
So I told him the exact same story I just told. You know what, man? I remember sitting in the living room watching Sanford and Son, and I told him, yo, the similarity to this is real fucking crazy, man. And he just was like, well, I'm all ears. So I laid it on him, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's got to be weird. I never thought about that. There's like. because there's like, my wife wanted us to talk about like the moment you realize that your parents are getting older. But there's probably also a moment where the parent realizes that this kid's a grown up. You know, this kid isn't
Grown up body at least.
Yeah, like this kid isn't a kid anymore. Like I don't know. Like I wonder if I've ever said anything that like blew my parents' mind like that. Like, damn, I can't believe he wanted to know that. I don't know. I'd have to ask him. But.
Yeah, that would be a conversation to have. I'm thinking like, damn, maybe I should go talk to my mom. Like, Mom, maybe, was there ever a time?
Maybe if you're listening to this podcast, you should call your mom and ask, what's the moment that you knew I was
a motherfucker?
I was an adult. Like, what's the moment you knew I was grown? Like, what's the moment? Not even that, but what's the moment that you like felt confident that I could be okay? You know, independently.
Do you remember?
Do I remember the moment that I felt like I could be?
When do you think the moment was for him?
I don't know.
If you can remember.
I don't know. I graduated high school and I went straight to California. I was just gone.
Yeah.
You know, so that, I mean, it was probably around then, I guess. Because it probably happened really fast, too. Because it's like, one day I'm a high school kid. My room's in the basement. You know, I'm there every day. And then,
going to work
like,
at Arby's.
Literally, like, the next day, yeah, I'm just gone. And who knows when the next time I'll be back is.
1,000 miles away.
Well, yeah, and I probably only came back, like, I didn't know it at the time, but I left that house, and that was the last time I was ever going to live there. You know, that day I left for boot camp was the last time I lived.
Okay. Who bugged out on you more, your mom or your pops?
My mom.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I moved out of state. My mom wouldn't talk to me. Like, I remember when she had finally had it, and I called, she answered, but my dad ended up saying, hello. Your mom she's just upset right now. And she didn't want to talk to
my
me.
mom wasn't mad, but she was sad. You know?
Sad. Like, my baby don't need me no more. That's what my dad told me. He's like, she's just upset that she think you don't need her no more. So just call more often. So I was like, I'm thinking maybe that might have been the time.
Yeah, I was just gone. And then it's like, she got one phone call before I went to boot camp, and then it was nothing. She just got letters every once in a while for 3 months, you know. Yeah, so it was probably around that time. It probably happened really fast.
Yeah.
So probably something like that, but I don't know. Maybe when I got a job.
I'm gonna have to ask my mom that, man. That's interesting.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
'Cause I'm sure it's gonna be different for her. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be different for her.
Yeah, because there's got to be. I mean, I don't know if it's even one moment, but it's like
a time.
There's got to be like a pretty fast shift from like when you look at your kid and you see a baby. And then you look at your kid and like my wife, I'm starting to get grays over here. And my wife, one day we were over at the house and my wife was like, oh, hey, she's talking to my mom, you know, she's like, oh, hey, look, he's starting to grow grays. And dude, my mom got a little emotional about that. You know? She's like I'm her first kid, you know, and I'm starting to get gray hairs. That's got to fuck you up a little bit, you know?
Or on my birthday. I remember my mom finally figuring out how to FaceTime on my last birthday when I turned, how old am I? 46 or 47? I think I'm 46. Yeah. But I remember my mom's like, happy, but you know, she sings to me every year. She calls her and my grandma. She's like, how old are you again? I said, I'm 46, Mom. And she just, Damn. I'm like, oh, is he tripping? Yeah. You probably remember when I was just 13 and I'm fucking 46, kicking 50 in the ass. And she just like, wow.
How much of that is just her fucking just her up mentally, you know, because like women don't like to feel old, you know, so it's like, damn, my kid's almost 50, that makes me however old, you know.
And my mom still looks good for her age, but yeah, she just kind of took, I could see her like she's
don't remind me,
she's tripping. I'm 46.
And one of my bosses, he went to Texas A&M to get his doctorate degree. He's like the head of research where I work.
Yeah, good school to do it.
Yeah, so he went to Texas A&M, and he'll talk about. He's like, oh yeah, when I was getting my PhD in 1980, whatever. And I'll just look at him and I'll be like, man, I wasn't even born yet. And he'll just stop and be like, thanks for that, and then he'll keep telling his story.
What year were you born?
90.
90.
Yeah. Yeah, every once in a while, I just like to let people know while I can, because eventually I'll be the old guy who's like, yeah, when I was in school in 2010, and people will be like, I wasn't even born yet.
Well, this is how
I'm going to flex my youngness while I can.
Right, 90. Yeah, 90. Being able to say I was born in 90. Yeah, you're
like, people are still doing stuff before. I can still be like, oh, dang, I wasn't even born. 90. I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's eye 90. When you were getting a PhD in research, man. How crazy. 90. Yeah, I won't be able to say that forever. Now I'm noticing, like, football players are younger than me, like professional football players.
Well, that's what I
like,
was going to say. When you look at the roster, I remember when I was a kid, I would see dudes in 60, 70, you know what I mean? And think, okay,
it's like,
now they born in 2002 and shit. I'm like, what?
Oh,
He was born in 2002? And I'm thinking, yeah, it's 2022. Yeah. Like, fuck.
yeah,
These some little ass dudes out here, man. These babies literally to me.
shit's
I
weird.
think what?
I'm getting to the point where I don't know who any celebrities are.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I thought that would never happen to me, but it has.
I'm trying to figure out who my new horse is in the NBA, man, after Melo, Bron, and
Zion.
I'm going with Ja.
Okay.
I like Ja Morant.
All right.
I gotta roll with Ja Morant. That's gonna be my new horse when Bron lays it down. But shit, I think he was born in 2001 or 2 or some shit, man. I'm like I was like, what?
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know how to feel about it, man. But yeah, that's why I like to let people know that I'm younger than them, while I still can.
All good, baby.
Because eventually I'll be the old guy, and I'll be getting pissed at everybody
With the
telling me when they were
superhero
born.
grays on the sides.
Yeah, I'm kind of. That's how I hope it grows in like that, man. I like that.
With the superhero gray,
I
man.
like that.
That's what we call it in the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
Superhero gray.
Yeah, some people do that on purpose. It's starting in my sideburns over here, so I'm hoping I get just a little silver fox.
Run with it, man.
Little silver fox action.
I'm trying to look my age, man. It just won't happen for me. It just won't happen for me, man. I ain't got no
sucks
grays.
for you, man.
I think I got one in my beard, man. It's been there forever. It might be a birthmark. I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. I take pictures with my homies and shit, man. They got the silver beards, the grays and shit.
Yeah.
And here I am. But it was like, why this motherfucker still trying to look so young? I'm not fucking trying, man. It won't happen. I'm sorry.
It's because you're so low stress, man.
I ain't never been a stressful
gotta be
type
what it
motherfucker,
is.
man.
Yeah,
When
it
I
is.
fucked up, I'm like, hey, shit, I fucked up. We gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah,
you know what I
sorry.
mean? There's a light at the end of the tunnel through this fuck up. Why worry about it now? Never was I a stressor, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something to it. Plus, black don't crack.
Well, man, I had a lot of incarcerations, man. From the age of 16 probably to the age of 33, man, I was incarcerated a lot. From juvie county to the joint. So I wasn't able to be out here smoking and drinking and
Yeah, that
you know what I mean,
too.
like a lot of my homies was and
That
shit.
too.
So I like to say I've been preserved, man.
Yeah,
That's the reason I look like this.
In my experience, black dudes take care of their skin better than white dudes do. The black dudes in my platoon in the Marine Corps, black dudes in our battalion in the Marine Corps always had like a bottle of cocoa butter lotion on them. And anytime we stopped anywhere, they'd be like, and then they do like their whole bodies.
Coconut oil with me.
Yeah, I didn't start caring about my skin until I started looking in the mirror and being like, oh shit, I have hella wrinkles. And
Big
my
deal.
wife's like, yeah, you don't put sunscreen on. Like the entire time I was in Afghanistan, didn't wear sunscreen one time.
Dang.
Yeah.
You still look good though, dog, for doing that. Because I know that sun was beating y'all's ass over there.
Yeah, it was.
That's a different sun over there. Shit.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the skin is real important.
Yeah.
My trick, I remember years ago, my mom got us, me and my sister, my second oldest sister, this acne medicine. I didn't even go through acne in junior high, bro. I didn't have one pimple on my face.
I did. I had it bad. I had to get on Proactive.
So did my sister.
That medication thing, and that's got to be bad because you put it on and it feels like your skin's
Ripping,
like
it's
sizzling.
ripping your dermis. The dermis, yeah.
Yeah.
Killers the dermis off.
Hey,
but I remember using
that
that
shit worked
soap,
though.
and it did the exact opposite to me. That shit tore my face up, man.
Damn.
So I never ever have I put soap on my face since then. In my face, man. You know, because black people, we replenish oil. I don't know if you knew that. We replenish oil anyway. So very rarely, even especially after I became vegan, I don't wear lotion. I don't, you know, there's a lot of chemicals in lotion that I can't use, you know what I mean, being vegan. But coconut oil, man, you can from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, your mouth, your teeth, coconut oil, man, it takes care of your whole body, bro. It takes care of your whole body. Every morning
we were messing with coconut oil for a little while. People were doing this, it's called like oil pulling in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing that for a while.
Don't sit it in your pipes though. Spit that shit in the garbage cans. It's oil. Yeah, that shit.
Oh, yeah.
That shit'll clear your mouth
We were
out,
doing
man.
that. We're just not very consistent with shit like that. So we did it for a little while and we're like, hey, this is kind of cool. And then we stopped. We're just kind of.
It's not something you.
It is what
Probably
it is. But
it's probably an every other day thing.
Yeah, I let my wife give me like facials and shit now. And first of all, it just feels good.
We were taught facials in barber school. There's
Really?
there's a barber facial
Hmm.
that you probably get a facial in a cosmetology or in a salon too, but the barber facial is different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you guys do it here?
We
Ever?
we
If someone asked for one,
if someone asks for it, we'll prepare
would
and
you do it?
we'll do it for them. Yeah, but
I don't want one. I do need a haircut though, man. I'm bad, dude.
hit the wife
I'm
up.
bad. I need to. Every day I'm at work and I'm like, I'm gonna text Jana today, see if she's got any time this week, and then I forget. And then the next day I'm like, I'm gonna text Jana. I've been thinking about it for like 2 weeks. I got a mop up here.
Yeah,
under this
man.
hat,
35 years, man. I think she might be the second standing active female barber in the state right now. Our barber director stopped in the other day, man, and it's always good to see him. You know what I'm saying? He's a good dude. Really, really starting to grow on us, man. But
Really?
yeah, our industry, man, it's very saturated, especially here in Lincoln. Growing up in the 80s, we had one barbershop, Wade's
Damn.
Barbershop on 23rd and R Street. And then by 90s, early 90s, there were probably several. Now, man, it's very saturated, and in so many words, man, be careful about hiring new barbers. And I'm like, why say such a thing? And our industry is looked at. It's like how did the homie put it the other day? It's like it looks cool to the youngsters. It's just something that looks cool now, instead of actually wanting to learn the traditions and the ways and not treating your people like bank accounts. I think a lot of the youngsters think they just gonna get out of school and make $1 million. And I like to say I'm a good barber. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna toot my own horn, but I know what I'm doing behind the chair.
Sure.
But for the first year, I've been a barber now 11 years professionally. But for that first whole year, I sat for at least a year. Because one thing about barbering, man, you can be the best barber in the neighborhood, but if you ain't a cool person, they won't come back. They like that haircut,
Yeah, that's
but if you're a dick, you're an asshole,
true.
they won't come
If you're
back.
cool, you might even be able to fuck up the haircut a couple
And
times.
if you're cool, you might be able. Oh man,
you might be able to have a bad day.
and because you was a G about it, he'll come back every time.
Yeah.
And I tell these new they haven't done a barber visits because of the COVID shit. And one thing I always tell them is, man, keep your job. If y'all got a job right now, side gig, whatever, keep it. Do not quit. I never quit my side gig. I still do it to this day. 'Cause there's gonna be some times where you're gonna have to sit down, man. You might sit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and finally make up all that money that you missed on a Friday. But if you ain't willing to stick it out until that Friday, you just a guy that got a barber license and ain't shit to you. There's no substance to you. We ain't been able to hire young barbers in here for years, man. Either couldn't pay rent or just wasn't willing to go out there and hustle.
Yeah.
Because I still look young, man. I can put a backpack on and walk around downtown. And I've done this. I used to do it on my lunch break when I was in school. I used to go down to the bus stop, man, pull homeless dudes in, like, man, haircut only $7. A few times I would even pay it for them. Haircut $7 because I wasn't very good at cutting white hair. Only hair that I cut before I became a professional was black and Latino hair, which the similarities are pretty much the same.
Sure.
So I had to learn how to cut Caucasian hair. So I would go down to the bus stop, man, pull motherfuckers in. Some of them followed me. You know what I mean? But I'm you know what I mean? I'm a hustler. I'm a real, you know what I mean? Am I do I run my mouth? No. But am I gonna get you to buy this shit? Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'll sell water to a shark, motherfucker. So you know, they just because there's a barbershop sign in front of your shop don't mean everybody gonna walk in there. You gotta go get that shit.
That's interesting, man. That's a good point. That's good advice.
I hope they take
Set
it.
these youngsters up for success, man.
We got a saturated field, man, of just a bunch of guys.
Yeah, there is kind of. Yeah, I don't. There was dudes in the Marine Corps who would be like, oh, "I'm gonna learn to cut hair" because they thought it'd be cool to learn.
Yeah.
And they would. I mean, I don't remember any of them actually learning how to do it. You know, they would buy the clippers and start trying, and then they would stop.
Well, like I told you, the first day of barber school, man. First day of barber school, I bought all my shit. I had my Andersons, I had my liners, I had my combs. You know what I mean? I knew every piece of equipment that a barber should have. Got to school the first day, man. I'm ready to hit the ground running. They looked at me like, "Hey, man, you ain't gonna need those for about 14 more weeks. We going upstairs to the 3rd floor to the classroom." I was like, "What classroom?" That's like, "Yeah, here's your books, here's your paper, going upstairs." I was like, and yeah, orientation's 14 weeks, man. Just straight paperwork, anatomy, blood flow. Man, it was some serious fucking shit.
There's a lot of dudes like you in the Marine Corps too, though. Like when I went to school of you go to boot camp, and then I had an infantry IOS, or an infantry MOS, so I had to go to ITB, which is Infantry Training Battalion.
A lot of initials
At the SOI.
I don't know how y'all did
SOI,
that shit.
School of Infantry,
You still know it too.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I'll know them forever. Yeah. So like our first weekend there, this black dude had, I don't know where he got them, but it's our first weekend that we've ever been there. But he had secured some clippers and a little like pop up tent. And the first set, because in boot camp you don't get any time off. You know, you're training all day every day. It's 3 months straight. But then you get to SOI, and all of a sudden you're training Monday through Friday, and you got Saturday, Sunday off to do whatever you want. You have free time again. You're an adult kind of. Yeah. So I go down Saturday morning, and I go down the first time, and this dude has he's got his tent popped up, and he's got his clippers, and he's like, "Hey man, you want a haircut?" They cut haircuts at the barbershop over here for $12, but I'll cut your hair for $5 if you do it right here. Amen. And I mean, he was doing mean fades. He's like, "Yeah, he's from the hood, you know." He's like, "Yeah, I do all my homies' haircuts at home, so I can already do a fade. So all you need is a high fade every week, and you're good. So I'll cut your hair for $5." And the dude was raking in money, dude.
I bet he was.
Yeah, everybody would just go downstairs and get their haircut instead of you had to take like a shuttle to get over to the barbershop. It was because none of us had cars. We weren't allowed to drive yet on base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we couldn't bring our cars on base.
A privilege earned.
I mean, yeah, just once you get to wherever you're permanently at, because we were still students, so they didn't want us like getting DUIs and doing all that crazy shit and fucking up our training real bad. But yeah, this dude would set up every weekend, and he'd be down there making who knows how much money. There's like on every floor, there's like 100 guys.
Yeah,
there's like 5 floors, so if
he got fat.
Yeah, if half of them paid him $5
for a haircut, he at least ate good.
Yeah, he was doing all right.
At least ate good. That's what a guy will do in prison.
Yeah,
like I first started braiding on myself. You know what I mean? My hair was long enough that I could just put 4 braids in my shit. And I had watched my mom do my 3 little sisters' hair for so many years. I knew the braiding. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm pretty good at this. I can do this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it on the yard because you don't want everybody to know that you can braid hair in there. Because most dudes, especially black dudes, got braids. So I would just hook cats up on my unit. Man, I didn't have to use my own money for probably 2-3 years because I was braiding dudes' hair, man. I was like, fuck, man, this is a hustle in this motherfucker, man.
Yeah, it's a lot like that.
All it would take for them is to see me braid my own hair. Hey, man, you braid, man, I'll pay you 25 tokens, man. Hell yeah. 25 tokens in the penitentiary, man, that's $15. You know what I mean? And
yeah, black dudes are like super entrepreneurial.
Fuck yeah, man.
For some reason, now that I'm thinking about like this guy, but like we're at SOI for a few months too, and by the end of it, he had basically like gotten an apprentice. Like one of his friends wanted to learn how to cut hair, so he's like, "Yeah, you can like cut hair next to me,
the old school way."
And and then his friend was learning. So like by the end of SOI, this dude had 2. It was just like there was like park benches in this little like courtyard spot. He would just put his tent over one of them, and you would sit on the park bench, and he would cut your hair.
Yeah, black people, man, we've always been.
By the end of it, he would have a person on each side of the park bench, and then he'd have two dudes cutting hair under his little tent. But
yeah, we've always had to be hustlers, man. Like I said, we were given the underworld from the beginning of time because we wasn't even considered citizens. So we always had to do shit.
Oh yeah, anything you did was
we
illegal.
always had to do shit on the low.
Yeah, even having a legit business would have been illegal at one point.
You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers didn't want us to know how to read. You had to sneak to learn how to read.
Yeah, that was used to be illegal to know how to read.
You know what I'm saying? So even blacks and Latinos, I should say that we were given the underworld, and a lot of us learned the drug trade, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, selling peanuts to the circus. You know, whatever the fuck it may be, we were given that underworld. We fucking succeeded in it, mastered it, and then we were thrown in prison, in jail for it. Just kind of like the cannabis business.
Yeah,
we've been doing that shit for years. blacks and Latinos. We've been hustling.
Yeah, bunch of rich white dudes.
If anybody know how to sell some bud,
already own all of it.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't hustled no bud in fucking years, dog. But legalize that shit. But because I'm a felon now, I can't get back in the game. See how they set me up? See how they set us up?
Yeah.
Made us all felons and shit. Then you legalize the shit. Y'all get y'all's cream off the top. But when motherfuckers that look like me and my brown homies want to get in the game, oh, you're a felon. At a game that I mastered.
Well, yeah, I'm a felon for doing what you're doing right now.
For what you doing right now, motherfucker. At a game I mastered, I can't get in.
Yeah, it was illegal when I did it, and it's not.
Now it's not. And I can't get in the game.
I can't do. Yeah, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
that's that systemic racism people talk about.
Shit blows my mind, man. I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a conversation for another time because we are out of time today. Thank you for the great conversation as always. This is my favorite way to end a Sunday, man.
Yes, sir.
Sit here, chill, expand my mind a little bit, get in a good mood for the week, man. It's great. So hopefully you guys get in a good mood for the week too. Like I said at the beginning, follow us on our social stuff, Facebook. Not Facebook. I always fucking say Facebook. We don't have a Facebook.
Yeah, I don't think Facebook would let us.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, wherever else you get your stuff. But Spotify has the videos as well as YouTube. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week. We'll see ya.
Peace.